Hey there, I'm the Virginia Creeper. This is another Hope on a Rope production. Just getting back from a crabbing trip that I took to the Chesapeake Bay, putting some gear away. But stay tuned, you're going to see some great footage of how to run a trot line. And that's T-R-O-T, not trout line, it's trot line. So it's pretty specific to crabbing on the eastern shore and western shores of the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland and Virginia. I think you're really going to like this video. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Consider subscribing. If you're back, I really appreciate you. Give me that thumbs up, smash that thing till it glows. Let's get right into it. Good morning, boys and girls. This is another Hope on a Rope production. I am the Virginia Creeper, and today I'm going to show you how to trout line, and we're going to be trying for some blue crabs. Okay, folks, I'm going to go over the gear that we're going to use today to catch some crabs. We have a trout line. We have our trout line floats and anchors. We have our dip net, and we have our prop stick. So all of these are essential to trout lining for blue crabs. And then I'm gonna show you how to bait the line, give you some tips on the line itself, and then we're gonna go crabbing and catch some crabs. So the first thing we have here is a 15-pound anchor. Now you can make your anchor out of anything. I just buy anchors at flea markets. Get them for a couple bucks. Guys that just don't need them anymore, they're kind of rusty and they don't like them. Get yourself an anchor, put a small length of chain on it. I have 30 feet of rope. That 30 feet of rope can go to a single buoy. I like having two buoys. They just have to be the same size and color on each end. And they have to have your DNR ID number written on the buoy. You're gonna need two of these, one for each end of the trout line. You're also gonna need a prop stick. The prop stick is what's gonna draw the line up off the bottom of the water. This is just a simple prop stick I made out of PVC. It actually fits right in one of my Scotty rod holders, and I'll show you how that works when we get out on the water. You're also gonna need a decent dip net. Invest in a good quality net. This net's probably 10 years old, and I'm sure it'll last me another 10 years. As far as other gear you're gonna need two baskets. You're allowed 1,200 feet of line, so you're gonna need about a bushel basket to hold your line. If you're using what's called a soft lay line, that's a totally different process. That's a very soft rope. Most of that'll fit right in a 5-gallon bucket. This trout line of mine is about 20 years old. I built it, and it's lasted me, and it'll probably last me another 20 years. You need two baskets, and the reason for that is as you bait it, you're taking it from one basket, and you're gonna put it into the fresh basket. You're allowed to have 1,200 baited feet of line. That doesn't include the line leading up to the first bait. So what I have is it's a big old brass snap here. That's gonna hook onto my float. That goes on the float. I put that on my bucket, and then I lead this in. This is about 12 feet of just regular line leading up to a chain. You're gonna need a chain. This is gonna sink your line to the bottom. That's where you tie your main line. This is number 5 line. You can buy it at any Waterman supply. I like to wet my line before I bait it. It just makes it come out and lay back in the basket a lot easier. To another clip, and this is the actual baited section of line. This is a snood. Not sure why they call it a snood. Kind of looks like the snood on a turkey. But all it is a bungee cord. It's probably a 1/4-inch bungee, and it has a 1-inch piece of 1/2-inch marine hose fuel line on it. So you just feed the loop through the hole, and that's where your bait will go in, and then you can snug it down, and that'll hold it and it will not come off. So the bait I'm gonna be using is chicken necks. You can use bull lips, you can use salted eel, you can use clams. Clams, you gotta use a mesh bag that gets attached to this. I've never found the need to use clams. Seems like chicken necks always work just fine. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the baiting process, but if you build your own, you can build either way, but make sure you build a snood. Snood lines are a lot more productive than putting your bait right on the main line. I'm not going to bore you with baiting up this whole line here. Just one other thing is I have two 600-foot lines, and I have them split in the middle. Where we're going tomorrow, we can run a 1,200-foot line without an issue. Sometimes if you're up in a creek, you can't get distance. You know, you might have other crabbers, you might have bends in the creek. So sometimes you can run 600 feet of trot line down one side of the creek and 600 feet of trot line down the other side of the creek. It's good to be able to have it split like that, have that option. But with that option, you have to have a whole nother set of anchors and floats. So keep that in mind. When we go out today, we're gonna have just one long line, which will be 1,200 foot of baited line. Let me get this all baited up. Hopefully when we check in next time, we'll be on the water. Oh, one other thing. You can bait these up well in advance if you've got a freezer that you can put the container in. So if you got a deep chest freezer or stand-up freezer that you can put your thing in, then just freeze the whole line. And when you want to go crabbing, thaw it out the night before. Take it out and set it in the boat, and it'll be thawed out by morning. Tonight I'm going to actually stick this. I got a refrigerator that's in the shop, and I can put this basket right in the bottom of the fridge, and it'll keep it good and fresh. Everybody thinks crabs want rotten bait. They don't want rotten bait. Fresh always works better. If you take a rotten chicken neck and a fresh chicken neck and you put them out there, your fresh chicken neck's gonna get bit a lot more. Now this chicken, he's got a cut right here, so a crab's just gonna take and pull that right off. So don't ever do that. Pop that in there and then take this little nub, and it doesn't take much to get a crab to hang on. Put that little piece right on there and cinch her down. And that's a bait. That'll catch a big old Jimmy. We'll be on the water tomorrow. We can start laying gear half hour before sunrise, which is basically when you can see. We'll probably get on the water around 5, find us a spot, try and catch us a few crabs. Right here. Good? Yep. Make sure it grabs in that mud good. Digging in? Alright. Shake that line as it comes out. Hey, little baby, we put him in there for? Going down. Coming up. Going down. Going down. Little guy. That's crazy how it's like one section out here. Going down. Oh, he just dropped off. You see it?
I didn't see it.
Getting heavy. What's that? Just a big female. And a stick.
And a stick, yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's a doubler?
Yeah. How deep?
5.
That one just dropped off.
little point out here, 4 or 5 foot, had the most action so far. That boat right there looks like it ought to be out there trolling for tuna. There's a good one. Get him?
Yeah.
Getting heavy. Might be the chain though. Yeah. Get him, yeah. Staying heavy. 4 foot. You're right, sometimes they're on that first neck.
Nice one.
I think you had 2 doublers. Grab it, see if we got any keepers. I'll get it back over there.
That was a good run.
Yeah. This is that big one we crossed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a good one. We need 2 dozen like him.
Another good run.
Yeah. Couple darkies in there.
Ripping each other's claws off.
Yeah, they always do that. That little sucker climbed right up, didn't it?
Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow.
That big bone crusher you got there. You gotta get that little female out of there.
2 of them.
2 little females, yeah. There you go. We're doing alright though. I'd say just leave it. I think 4 more runs, if it stays up, we'll have a bushel.
Yeah.
Alright, back into 3 foot here. Get ready. Yep. Suck. Alright, get that thing off there. Let's see how you did.
And there's some in the boat too.
I don't think so. I think you got them all in the basket. Nah, there's one over here.
Keeper?
Maybe. Worth measuring.
Ow, ow, ow.
Okay, so we're done crabbing, got all the boat and the gear washed up, and what we're gonna do now is start steaming. So this is my pot. This one will hold 2 bushel of crabs. We only got 1 bushel because we're not allowed to keep 2 bushels anymore. My pot is pretty big, so it takes about 4 cups of water, and then I throw in a cup of vinegar, white vinegar. So we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to get that steaming, and we're going to put the crabs in, and I'll show you how we season them up. You get a layer in, and then you're going to sprinkle in just a little bit of seasoning on the bottom. Put too much seasoning in, it'll burn on you, and you don't want that. A little crab house blend. Look at that big boy, big jumbo, right there. That's when you know you got a good crab. Look how muddy he is there. Nice big muddy one. That's what you're looking for in a crab. Muddy, dark bottoms, hard shell. That's good crabs right there. Number one, Jimmy's. Alright, so we got them layered in here now. We got them all seasoned up. I'm going to try 5 of them here. The way my buddy Gary does it down in Virginia, he takes the lids off, cleans them. He says it's 100% better, so we're going to find out. But while I'm doing that and cleaning them, I'm going to get these started to steam. This is a male crab. I know we didn't really talk about it out there. You pop his little pointer off. And then we'll get them, we'll put them on top. Apparently the seasoning gets into the meat a lot better doing them this way, so we'll find out. Alright, so these are the lungs. Some people call them the dead man or devil's fingers. You're going to clean that off when you steam them anyway. We're just doing that before. And you pull out his little pancreas and stomach right there, rip his face off, and take this one's face off here. The little feeders. But yeah, so let's put these in here. We'll get them seasoned up. Alright, we'll see if the Virginia way of doing things is better than the Maryland way. So I can see where the seasoning definitely gets right in there. We've been steaming for about 3 minutes. We got steam starting to be created. We're going to put the lid on these, and this pot normally takes me 23 minutes to do a bushel of crabs. Probably about 15 minutes in, we're going to put some corn on top of these, so I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so typically once I get steam that's rolling out of here pretty good, I will back the gas off and lower the flame because there's no sense in keeping that at a rapid boil. But I got some good old bicolor corn here from the local Yoder down the road. I like to throw that right on top of the crabs that already have the seasoning on it. You get the seasoning all over the corn. But you don't want to put that right in right away. This corn with this steam in here is only going to take like 5 minutes to cook. So I don't like to overcook the corn, get it all mealy. So what I'll do is I'll put that in here in about 5-6 minutes and then finish it off. So as you can see, they're already turning red. We got plenty of steam coming out. Do this quick because I don't want to lose my heat. Just throw yourself some corn right on top of them crabs. And then get them covered up again. And I'm gonna back this flame off a little bit. That's perfect right there. Okay, so in about 5-6 minutes, these will be done. And man, we'll be having a crab feast. All right, these are steaming really good. They got about 1 more minute, and then I'm gonna cut the steam and we will get them out of here. Man, they smell so good. I wish I had smell-o-vision so you could smell this. But I don't think there's anything better than the smell of steaming crabs on a hot, humid afternoon with some corn on top, of course. Okay, moment of truth here. Woo, look at them bad boys down in there. Sweet corn, we've got those crabs. Always take your lid off when you're done or they will continue to steam. I'm gonna go ahead and get these out of here, get some in on the table. Let's grab his corn off here now. I kept some of the smaller crabs and tried Gary's way. If you ice your crabs down and chill them, they don't lose their claws. Right now I'm just going to get a handful out of here to take in. Start eating on those while the rest of those cool down. So yeah, so get yourself a trout line and go out and have some fun. Woo! That's a big boy right here. Look at the size of that sucker. That's about a 7.5 inch crab. That's going to be a tasty one. But yeah, most of these I'm going to end up picking, turning into crab cakes, crab balls, or crab dip. Or I'll put the crab meat in the freezer and make crab soup in the wintertime. Which, everybody loves some nice crab soup. But yeah, if you chill your crabs, they won't lose their claws. It's a lot better when you're cleaning your pot up at the end of the day. You don't have to worry about all the legs laying in the bottom. But there's a lot prettier when they have all their legs on them too. Alright, so it's hot and humid outside. I'm going to eat these crabs inside. These are the ones that we cleaned before steaming. And it looks like the seasoning really gets in there, so maybe Gary's got something to that. Got some corn. This is about half of the bushel that we got. I still got another half a pot out there, but don't want to overload the table. Still got to have a place to crack these things. So, all right, we're going to get to eating here.